Hi there, and here's basically the short little video of I've got a Tamiya Falcon that will be possibly built for next year's vonats. It's basically vintage off-road nationals, and I picked up a $30, well, Tamiya Falcon missing a bunch of parts, and I'll get to view the plans for the build. I already swapped out. I had the stock front tires and rims and stuff, but I wanted to run some Proline multi-slot little dish wheel kind of setup. I'm going to find some for the rear, and tires I have no idea yet, but at least these rims and the rims that are in the back of these, using these old school Proline rims, are I believe a standard 2.2 size rim, so I'll be able to run modern tires at least. But quick plans, convert to a more modern shock, put adjustable upper links in. I'm feeling safe with running the lower stock A-arms and knuckles. I at least know the knuckles are pretty strong because I ran them in another build. And the front end, I've got another broken shock tower that I actually modified a broken, I believe it was a, what was the name of it? XTM Inferno shock tower that was broken half. That we are going to replace one of the weakest links on a Tamiya Falcon is these shock towers. If my camera will focus again, is these would bust off in a hard impact rolling over, or even just a shock basically having too much force loaded on it. It would just bust the ears off, and you'd have a really hard time fixing that because you'd have to find these new parts. And this new part is the entire side piece for the, it's just to keep it short, it's very hard to find these parts. And I've got a set that I've modified that have normal like shock locations that have multiple spots to locate where the shock is. And I can get further travel up and down because as it is, I have close to bottom out on this, but I don't have the tires on yet, and I would prefer to have more adjustment for this for what I'm going to be going up against, which is, what is it, like a bunch of super lightweight stuff that barely handles from what I've seen, like Tamiya Grasshoppers are in the class, but the regulations are, has to be a stock silver cam motor, plastic tub chassis, technically entry-level buggy. So I'm skirting the rules, but it does pass as I've talked to a few of the people who run the whole thing. Going from there, there was a weak point of the underside. I'll get to that in a moment. I just want to get a quick shot of ancient electronics. I might keep the MSC for now just to keep things simpler. I might ditch the cage just to get a little less weight in this because as I've had a bunch of these in the past, just in better condition than this, these are a heavy buggy for what they are. But I'll get that underside pick as we wanted. Overall, it's not in bad shape for what it is. It's just, I believe someone broke the rear and trailing arms, which were another weak point on these buggies, and it just set. I do have the body to it. I just didn't bother getting it because I'm planning on running a different color scheme and different body anyhow. Sorry, I always have people calling for buying stuff. I ended up for $20 a long time ago. It's where I got a bunch of parts. Was a $20 Tamiya or a $20 Kyosho Scorpion that I parted out and used to fix other stuff, which we'll see a few of the parts used on another or later build that'll come up in a few days. But one of the last few parts I had from it is I've got the trailing arm for the other side, so don't worry about that. Is it has the rear trailing arms, but they're metal and they're metal mounting for it. They're overall a much better setup than the stock trailing arm, which we can see the stock location for it still. See that hole? If my camera will focus. All it did was come straight back and pivot in a directly up and down motion. There was no side sweep to it. In other words, we see the hole is like this, and to demonstrate, most RCs have, if they have a trailing arm setup, have the pivot point in where my finger's angled in order to give it where when you're at ride height, it's a straight up and down or up and down tire. And when under compression with a cambered mount for this trailing arm as this one has, see, it's very rusty, but we'll get to cleaning that up in a later video. It makes it where you have a straight up and down motion, but when you're under compression, you gain camber. Can you see that? Basically, it's apart from the line. We'll use the desk to help demonstrate. The little bit of camber there helps keep the tire planted completely set on whatever terrain it's on. That was one of the downsides of these, was just like there was none of that little camber design put into these, so you always see the inner ear and sometimes the outer ear busted off on these trailing arms. Hence the awesome upgrade that I haven't seen done on these, but it should eliminate any issue, and I can actually adjust this to get more preset camber if I have to by putting another washer or so under there like some people did back in the day. Um, Overall, I've got bearings, I've got properly built transmission that I put modern up or out drives from a Tamiya TA02 on, so we'll be able to run dog bones out through this, proper bearings, way better shocks than just some Traxxas ones I've got sitting around, but I might use these if I find some longer ones, but that's for a later video. I just want to get a quick video of possible vonats build because this will be pretty wicked when we're done with it. Anyways, thanks for watching.